In the last episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor, Dani rescues Flora from the lady in the lake using the phrase, "It's you, it's me, it's us." Dani invites the apparition into her, simultaneously saving Flora from drowning and getting rid of the ghosts that haunt the manor. She spends the rest of the episode worried that the lady in the lake will take over her, a moment she feels is getting closer and closer. When the moment comes, Dani decides to sacrifice herself to keep everyone safe, and drowns herself in the lake at Bly Manor. As the series ends, we ask ourselves, how did Dani get the lady in the lake to possess her? How was she able to avoid being immediately possessed? And what does the phrase, "It's you, it's me, it's us," really mean? Let's rewind a little bit. The first time we hear the phrase, "It's you, it's me, it's us," is when Peter's ghost teaches it to Rebecca as a way to invite him into her forever. You see, before this, he had figured out how to possess her, but only momentarily. They would hit little hiccups that pulled him out of her body, but Peter had figured out a way to make it permanent. He devised a way for Rebecca and him to be truly together, and it all comes down to the host consciously deciding to invite the ghost into them forever. As Peter explains it, "I think it's just you and me becoming us," which turns into the phrase, "It's you, it's me, it's us," as a way to signal that the host is ready to be one with the ghost. Of course, we find out that Peter was merely manipulating Rebecca so that he could take possession of her body and drown her in the lake. That way, she would be with him at Bly Manor for eternity. Later on, Peter plans to permanently inhabit Miles and Flora's bodies, convincing Rebecca to go along. He teaches the kids what to say and what to think about when saying, "It's you, it's me, it's us," so that they can successfully take over. However, the origin of the phrase is actually in the penultimate episode, and the origin is Viola, the Lady of the Lake. When Viola gives birth to her daughter, she holds the baby in her arms and explains to her that the world is fierce and it will try to take Bly Manor from her. But Viola won't let that happen. She finishes with the words, "It is you, it is me, it is us." These three small phrases mark the connection between mother and daughter, linking them together through time and space. When Peter mentions how he came to this idea, he doesn't specify where he got it from, but the connection to Viola is clear. After all, it is because of Viola's gravity that her victims, like Peter, become tied to Bly Manor. So when Dani uses the phrase to invite Viola to possess her, it is not just a simple trick created by Peter, but a reminder of Viola's own connection and promise to her daughter. As soon as Viola enters Dani, all the other ghosts in the manor disappear, and something curious happens. Dani is still in control. Before, when Rebecca, Miles, and Flora use the same phrase to invite their respective ghosts to inhabit them, we see the hosts lose control almost instantly. So why doesn't the same thing happen when Dani invites Viola to possess her? The series never explains, but I think it comes down to the same reason why the other ghosts disappear: willpower. Unlike Peter and Rebecca, Viola had already spent hundreds of years as a ghost. She had lost all her memories, her face, and her purpose. Her existence was a doomed set of repetitions based on things she had already forgotten. Due to her lack of purpose and identity, Dani's willpower and gravity were stronger and overshadowed Viola's own willpower and gravity. As a result, the ghosts that were once prisoners of Bly were finally set free, and Dani could retain control of herself, if at least for a while. In the end, we learned that the narrator of the story was Jamie, the gardener, and Dani's wife. Likewise, we learned that some of the people in the wedding party were also part of Jamie's story. However, it seems that, at least some of them, don't remember the story taking place or even remember Jamie herself. When one of the guests asks her if the story is true, she replies which part, suggesting that not everything she told us was necessarily true. When explicitly asked about the Lady of the Lake in Bly Manor, Jamie says that if you were to fly to England, you would find no such place by that name. It is here that we learn that Jamie is an unreliable narrator. In other words, we can't trust which parts of the story are fact or fiction, or whether the whole story is made up. It could be that the story is entirely true, but so traumatizing that the participants, especially the children, forgot it all as a way to cope. Or perhaps the general structure of the story is true, but the paranormal events were simply a metaphor for mental illness, and Dani really did lose a battle to an inner demon, just not a supernatural one. I personally lean towards this interpretation. I think the story takes on a more meaningful resolution when seen through these lenses. However, in the end, we see Jamie looking at water reflections and leaving the door slightly open just in case Dani comes back, the same routine the gardener followed at the end of the story. And as Jamie falls asleep in front of her door waiting for her lover, we see Dani's hand on top of Jamie's shoulders, leaving us once again to wonder what's fact and what's fiction. Thanks again for watching. We're currently working on several videos analyzing the origins and stories of different horror movies. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment and stay tuned for more content. In the meantime, please check out some of our older videos and let us know what you think. Was Jamie's story fact or fiction? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.